It's Monday, December 13th, 2021. Welcome to another edition of Hilarious Headlines. Today we'll be talking about a story out of Delaware where somebody made a spelling error, which typically isn't that big a deal, except this time it was in a very, very public place, and it was a word that they definitely should have known how to spell. What is that word and where did this happen? Stay tuned to find out. Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Hilarious Headlines. Thanks for joining us on this Monday here, and we're going to get this week started off right with a really funny story out of Delaware. I alluded to it in the opener here, but as you can see by the headline here, it's a pretty funny gaffe that I can't believe happened. So coming to you live from Frisco, Texas, let's get started. Let's jump into the story here. So the title of the article is Delaware Replaces Highway Sign That Misspelled the State's Name. That's right. That's a real headline, and that really happened. An exit sign on a Delaware highway was replaced after drivers pointed out on social media that it misspelled the name of the state. Numerous posts appeared on social media this week when the Delaware Avenue exit sign on northbound Interstate 95 in Wilmington was installed, and travelers quickly noticed it was spelled Delaware Ave, D-E-L-W-A-R-E. The Delaware Department of Transportation said subcontractor M.L. Ruberton Construction Company had to make the sign in a hurry because the permanent replacement was not expected to arrive in time for the exit's reopening this week. I know when I'm in a hurry and I spell my name, I always get it wrong every time. The Hewitt Infrastructure Company, the Department of Transportation's contractor, said the spelling error wasn't noticed until after the sign had been installed. DelDOT joked in a Facebook post that the sign's typo had been a test to see if drivers were paying attention. Donnie Arendt, an area manager with Hewitt, said the temporary sign has now been replaced with its permanent replacement, which spells Delaware correctly. I gotta tell you, what a cop-out that is, right? How do you get to the point where there is a sign, and it's not even like, like I'm from Buffalo, New York, right? So we have some, I don't live there anymore, but we have some signs there that say, like, there's the Skajakwada, right? There's a lot of Native American signs names in the area, because there's a very strong presence in Western New York, and obviously these are some pretty complicated words to spell, like Skajakwada. But I mean, it's like if it was like the New York Thruway and then they spelled New York wrong. Like, these are words that you should know, not only because they're common, but also that's where you freaking live, right? So the idea that no one noticed it until it got put up is absolutely ridiculous. Think about that. Like, I'm not somebody who is knowledgeable about how, throughway signs are made, but I will say there are probably a lot of eyeballs from the time that sign's created to the time that sign is put up. So for that many people to notice it and then not care or not notice it, which is even more scary, right? The other thing I think too, this has to be the most ultimate, like, screw it, whatever, I don't care about my job kind of moment in history, right? Because in the article it says, let's see, where did it go? So the spelling error wasn't, that wasn't it. Numerous posts appeared on social media this week when the Delaware Avenue exit sign on northbound was installed, and travelers quickly noticed it was spelled. So, like, they were just thought they were going to sneak it by. You know what I mean? Like, they looked at it and they're like, we spelled it. Well, too late. Maybe no one will notice, right? Because what if they didn't talk about it on social media? What if it never got brought up to the Department of Transportation's, conscience? They would have just never, they would have just allowed the name of a road that's named after the state to just exist on their thruway. Not a good look. That's not a good look. So I think that is an absolutely insane, even the cover, like the Delaware Department of Transportation said they had to make the sign in a hurry because the permanent replacement was not expected to arrive in time for the exits reopening this week. What kind of cop-out answer is that? You know how much money these things? This is your government's tax dollars at work. They paid for the sign, right? So they paid a company money to make the sign. What kind of, operation is this where they're just misspelling things and just throwing it up and like, whatever, we'll see what happens. Maybe no one will notice. Absolutely ridiculous story. And I was scrolling through the stories today of, what I was going to cover on today's show, and that one really popped. We actually have a Delaware Avenue back in Buffalo as well, so that's why it caught my attention. We have a Delaware Avenue. It's like one of the main streets that goes right to downtown Buffalo, so it was kind of like, I know how to spell Delaware perfectly because that's where I used to live. But crazy story. Can't believe it happened. And just really funny. And this was, by the way, from UPI.com. So I'll put the link in the notes if you wanted to read the article. There's also the local news video, but I don't like to play those just because, this is a podcast, so people can't see the video along with the audio, so I just commentate and read the article. So thanks for listening, watching if you did on YouTube, and I really appreciate you taking the time. I hope you found this fun, entertaining. Like, subscribe if you want to continue to see these, comment, and feel free to send me links through my social media channels if you have a story that you'd like me to cover on the show. I'm always open for funny headlines, and let's just make the world a little bit lighter. You know what I mean? Let's not take everything so seriously here, and let's laugh at funny things, all right? Well, have a great rest of your week, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Hilarious Headlines.